Hey there, let's talk about meet and proxy. So, today I'll show you how you guys download it and use it. First, just search Google meet and proxy. Various links you find. Go to GitHub repository link. You can also read the documentation, and if you need help, or you can download any other website, and this is their official website, netmproxy.org, and several versions is there. So here how you guys can install meetmproxy for Mac OS, Linux, Windows operating system. For Linux, the recommended way to install meetmproxy on Linux. Some Linux distributions provide community-supported meetmproxy packages through their native packages repositories. And Windows to install meetmproxy on Windows, download the installer from meetmproxy.org. And this is advanced installation options. Development setup, installation from the Python package index. And security considerations for binary packages. So some dependencies in the binary packages are frozen on release and can be updated in so look this, how the man in the middle HTTPS using meet and proxy. So this is a article basically, and it published in February 11 2021, and the writer is Adam Jordan Bell. Have you ever wanted to see what kinds of requests a service or application on your machine is making and what kind of response it is getting back? Have you ever tried and failed to capture this traffic or modify it to investigate how something works? So the guide will help you. So what is meetm proxy? Meetm proxy is a command line tool that acts as a HTTP and HTTPS proxy and records all the traffic. You can easily see what requests are being made. Installation it. This is command on Mac, deinstallation, Windows. To start up meetm proxy, type meetm proxy and it will start up prompt bound to port 8080. This command line, this is some command line for meetm proxy and demo picture, demo dashboard picture in meetm proxy of meetm proxy. Meetm proxy also a web interface, has a web interface. So what is a man in the middle? A man in the middle attack is a security threat where an attacker can get between incoming and outgoing requests. You think you are talking to twitter.com, but you are talking to the man in the middle. The HTTPS protocol is being this is great for protecting online communication but problematic for our debugging purposes. We're trying to man in the middle our own requests to help overcome this. And also you guys can add some trusted certificate in MITM proxy. So this is an overview how to download this MITM proxy on your PC in Windows, Linux or Mac operating system. This troubleshooting capture Docker container traffic. Many information is adding this article. Let's open MITM proxy. MITM web. So this is the dashboard of MITM proxy. Here is start option. Let's need some certificate installation option, edit options. Here you can search, intercept, highlights, and the result is shown like method, status, size, time, path. Install certificate first. So what it if you can see this traffic is not passing through medium proxy. So now need some step for fix this error, like open settings in my Windows, proxy setting, and manual proxy setting, use a proxy server, port 8080 localhost. Just simply click save. Then installation certificate authority is this issue is fixed, and now I can install my certificate for my Windows machine. I need some dependencies, and it is jet jpet store. Open edit option and check all the things. Proxy server listening at 8080 port and client connect. Now give command mitm-web -allow -hosts, then pet store slash dot octperp slash dot com. Now it connected jpet store with mitm proxy. Intercept URL -u slash action. Just click jpet store again. And they are uh, gathering some information. If we click another page, and also it gets some information. any other web application or web page, or if I click and attached with MITM, I gather information like this. Just watch the video carefully how I do this. Let's check debug. And it's some syntax error. So this is actually basic use of MITM. and go to this redirect URL. This website BEEF. Go to social engineering. There's many options like fake flash update. You can make fake notification bar, Google phishing, pretty theft, replace videos, simple hijacker, tab nabbing, fake event mode, web, HTA PowerShell, pretty theft, many options. I just click pretty theft. There is some social media site, Facebook, LinkedIn or others. Backing gray and custom logo. This is what it look like. You can make a YouTube. This is how you guys can make this type of fake site, fake login. And response page, you find many information, page details. This is HTML page. How it look in uh, website, and in this body section is response here. So this is how intercepting gave my search this body. MITM actually is a set of tools that provide an interactive SSL TLS capable intercepting proxy for HTTP/1, HTTP/2 and web sockets, and intercept HTTP and HTTP's requests and response and modify them on the fly. Save complete HTTP conversations for later replay and analysis. Replay HTTP responses of a previously recorded server. Reverse proxy mode to forward traffic to a specified server. Transparent proxy mode on macOS and Linux. Make scripted changes to HTTP traffic using Python. SSL TLS certificates for interception are generated on the fly. And some powerful core tools. The MITM proxy projects tools are a set of frontends that expose common underlying functionality. When we talk about MITM proxy, we usually refer to any of the three tools. They are just different front ends to the same core proxy, like MITM proxy, MITM web and MITM dump. And MITM proxy is an interactive SSL TLS capable intercepting proxy with a console interface for HTTP1, HTTP2 and WebSockets, and MITM web is a web-based interface for MITM proxy, and MITM dump is the command line version of MITM proxy. Think TCP dump for HTTP. Distribution packages can be found on the MITM proxy website. And this is basically a console tool that allows interactive examination and modification of HTTP traffic. It differs from MTP dump in that all flows are kept in memory, which means that it's intended for taking and manipulating small ish samples. And MITM web is MITM proxy's web-based user interface that allows interactive examination and modification of HTTP traffic. Like MITM proxy, it differs from MITM dump in that all flows are kept in the memory, which means that it's intended for taking and manipulating smallish samples. And MITM dump is the command line companion to MITM proxy. It provides TCP examples. Saving traffic like MITM dump -w out file is command start up MITM dump in proxy mode and write all traffic to outline. Start MITM dump without binding to the proxy port -n. Need read all flows from in file, apply the specified filter expression, only match posts and write to out file. Start MITM dump without binding to the proxy port -n, then reply all requests from outline. And running a script, MITM dump -s examples sample add header.py. Both meetm proxy and meetm web have built-in editors that let you view and manipulate the complete configuration state of meetm proxy values. So this meetm dump have many options flag for ease of meetm proxy tools like add upstream charts to client chain, allow hosts, anti-cache. And meetm dump is the command line version of meetm proxy. Think tc dump for http. Distribution packages can be found on the MITM proxy website, development information and such. And meetm dump is the command companion to meetm proxy. It provides tc dump like functionality to let you view, record and programmatically transform http traffic. See this. And example like saving traffic, meetm dump -w out file, start up meetm dump in proxy mode and write all traffic to outline. Filtering saved traffic, meetm dump -nr in file -w out file. Start meetm dump without binding to the proxy port -n. Read all flows from in file, apply the specified filter expression, only match posts and write to out file. And client replay meetm dump -nc out file. Start meetm dump without binding to the proxy port. Flag -c flag file name. Flags combine in the obvious way, so you can replay requests from one file and write the resulting flows to another, like meetm dump -nc source file -w dst file. And running a script, meetm dump -s, then examples like, and this command is meetm dump flow detail. You guys can also use meetm dump to capture refinitive real-time optimized content. And one more thing, it not suitable may not be a suitable tool in some scenarios. For example, Fiddler is a UI application, so it requires a lot of resources to run. Moreover, after starting Fiddler, the program registers itself as the system proxy for Microsoft Windows Internet Services, the HTTP layer used by Internet Explorer. And meetm dump man in the middle dump is a command line tool in the meetm proxy package. It is a command line version of meetm proxy, which is a free and open source interactive HTTP proxy. It can be run on various operating systems including Windows, Linux and Mac OS. Moreover, and certificate files, when the first time meetm dump is run, the certificate files will be created in the configuration directory. By default, the medium dump uses a certificate to intercept encrypted connections. Moreover, the certificate files are recorded by the refined real-time optimized applications when connecting through the medium dump as a proxy. And to run as a Python example, the medium proxy file must be specified in the chart file argument. And you can run the medium dump without any arguments, like the medium dump will run with the default values. It will run as a regular proxy server listening at 8080 port. It uses certificate files from the configuration directory automatic, and after running it will display the full request URL. So guys, that's it for today. Hope you guys liked it, and thanks for watching. Hello everyone, hope you guys are well. So today I will demonstrate it total MITM proxy tool, who is known for man in the middle attack. I will show some basic program, basic attack, basic uses. So watch the video till the end carefully. Hope you guys learn many things in this video. Hello there. So this is MITM proxy official website and documentation about this framework or tools, whatever you say. So MITM proxy is a set of tools that provide an interactive SSL TLS capable intercepting proxy for HTTP 1 and HTTP 2 and WebSockets. And here is some features like intercept HTTP and HTTPS requests and responses and modify them on the fly. Save complete HTTP conversations for later replay and analysis. Replay the client side of an HTTP conversations. Replay HTTP responses of previously recorded server. Transparent proxy mode on macOS and Linux. Make scripted changes to HTTP traffic using Python. And SSL and TLS certificates for interception are generated on the fly, and much more. So this is the basic features and some core tools. MITM proxy, MITM web, MIT dump. And MITM proxy is an interactive SSL TLS capable intercepting proxy with console interface, and MITM web is a web-based interface of MITM proxy, and MITM dump is the command line version of MITM proxy. And this is the picture of MITM proxy dashboard. MITM proxy is a console tool that allows interactive examination and modification of HTTP traffic, and MITM web. This is MITM web dashboard, and it is MITM proxies web-based user interface that allows interactive examination and modification of HTTP traffic like MITM proxy. And lastly, MITM dump. MITM dump is the command line companion to MITM proxy. It provides TCD dump like functionality to let you view, record, and programmatically transform HTTP traffic. So some example how you can saving traffic. Meet MITM dump -w out file, then start up MITM dump in proxy mode and write all traffic to outline. This is command line filtering saved traffic. Client replay, start MITM dump without binding to the proxy port, then replay all requests from outline. This is a basic actually basic command, and how you guys can use this tools properly. And installation part, you guys can install it on Mac OS, Linux, Windows. And some advanced installation like installation from the Python package index pypi, install a recent version of Python and install pipx. Then Docker images, security considerations for binary packages. There are some security considerations. Now finally getting started. Launch the tool you need: MITM proxy, MITM web, MITM dump, and configure your browser or device. This is configure how you guys can configure your machine. MITM proxy starts as a regular HTTP proxy by default and license on HTTP localhost 8080. You need to configure your browser or device to route all traffic and app. MITM proxy browser versions and configurations options frequently change. Then verifying everything works and some resources is there. And how the user interfaces. This is the user interfaces look like. And there's some video. You guys can watch this. Intercept requests. A powerful feature of MITM proxy is the interception of requests. An intercepted request is pushed so that the user can modify or direct the request before sending it to the server. Here a video for intercepting. Some video content is here. Guys, this is the official website, and all the information is authentic. And modify requests this is a internal feature of this tool. This is how you guys can modify request. Replay requests. Another powerful feature of MITM proxy is replaying previous flows. Two types of replays are supported, like client side replay and server side replay. Then how MITM proxy works. MITM proxy is an enormously flexible tool. Knowing exactly how the proxying process works will help you deploy it creatively and take into account its fundamental assumptions and how to work around them. This is document split HTTP, the MITM proxy give 2 or 3 hours for this documentation, guys, and read all the article. Many option is each and every features and options shown in this article. Modes of operations, how you guys can custom make custom proxy, transport proxy, troubleshooting, or many more, reverse proxy. Then certificates, how you guys can install certificates and basic features. Then filter expressions and command line, also some options, commands, working with flows, custom key bindings, then protocols, HTTP1, HTTP2, WebSocket, generic TCP proxy, all the feature is here, and all the using guide. So just watch this and read this article. Hello there, and basics of this MITM proxy. Basics is record, replay, intercept, and modify. Now if you want to check the version, give the command mitm proxy version, then you get version. Then if you need help, just give command mitm -h. Give another command mitm proxy, and by default it port is 8080. A man in the medial attack is a security threat where an attacker can get between incoming and ongoing requests. So now I open another terminal or another window, and give command curl hyphen proxy and http slash localhost, and by default port 8080. Suppose example.com, and this is HTML code, and in flows get http.example.com domain name, I open two window for here I search browse google.com, and here is the result in google.com http slash 2.0 and desired information. If you guys up and down, just click this arrow and enter, up and down arrow and enter. Is request detail and response for targeting website. Here's a keyboard, all the keyboard options. The HTTPS protocol prevents MITM attacks, and the HTTPS protocol is pretty complex, but all we need to know is that HTTPS uses a trusted certificate authority to sign a certificate. Our browsers assume that if a trusted CA signs the certificate, we are talking directly to who they think we are. And you can view what CS signed the certificate of the website you are viewing in your browser. And this is great for protecting online communication but problematic for our debugging purposes. To help overcome this, MITM proxy has generated a certificate. All we need is to get our machine to trust it. Now my another window, give command curl http/wttr.in with the information. Now clear this and /Chennai, or you guys can give any places, any cities name. Oh, one more thing, I have to add localhost 8080. And I for set intercept. Just watch this command carefully. MITM proxy generated a certificate and private key the first time when you ran it. The certificate generated is specific to your machine and is located in MITM proxy /MITM proxy ca chart.char. Let's check responses and request intercepted. Press C for cookies and URL encoded from multipart from path method query reason, request headers, request body, response body, status code, set cookies or URL. I choose path and edit path components. Queue for setting. Just change And before we proceed, we need to clear the proxy settings on the host network connection. We can leave NITM proxy or NITM web running. So, a man in the middle consists of getting into the communication between two devices so that all the traffic passes through us. This allows the theft of data, reading and modification of communications. And in this video, I will make modifications to the answers that the victims receive. The way to perform the man in the middle is to supplant one of the communicators or the gateway, that means routers, with which we would receive all requests. Another way to carry out an attack of this type is creating a Wi-Fi access point of our control, since we would control the gateway. To supplant some communicator are used the techniques of ARP poisoning, DNS poisoning, port stealing, DHCP spoofing, or many more. So let's go bing.com. Opening WinZip. Simply download this extension. My MITM proxy is running. I get this request. server Apache, last modified, accept range, counter length, counter type, all the information gathering here. And this is HTTP1. In order to able to interact with the requests, we will have to establish a filter. For this, we press the key I and write a string or regular expression for this, and this will make the requests containing. I will be able to inspect the request with the return, modify with the, and accept with the server. Log response, save log requests, and server response, modify response based on content. And alright guys, let's talk about MITM proxy flow. Base class, and the class is flow. Base class of network flows. A flow is a collection of objects, for example HTTP request, response, pairs, or a list of TCP messages. So flow dot response and the client that connected to MITM proxy and this is the statement. And first you have to import this flow and response HTTP1, which server is Apache. And the code is flow dot response equal mitm proxy dot http response dot make 301 and declare the location. And if flow request dot pretty url dot int switch dot exe file, then it print this. Now go to WinZap for Windows and let's clear my browser history. And but the page isn't redirecting properly. Some flows may never cause MITM proxy to initiate a server connection because their response is replayed by MITM proxy itself automatic. To simply implementation, those flows will still have a server underscore connect con attribute with a timestamp underscore start set to none, and the path is moved permanently, and get redirected this file.exe. And if true, the flow is currently paused by MITM proxy. We are waiting for a user action to forward to flow to its destination. If this attribute is a non-empty string, the flow has been marked by the user. A string value will be used as the marker. Annotation may either be a single character or a Unicode emoji name. For example, it graphs becomes in views that support emoji rendering. Must be indicate this code to handle request files and give another logic here inside quotation. Point 8, just this code and flow request pretty URL in swiss.exe. The attribute indicates if this flow has been replayed in either direction. A value of request indicates that the request has been artificially replayed by MITM proxy to the server, and a value of response indicates that the response to the client's request has been set by server replay. And it is dep copy, then view source to copy following flow. More attribute for flow like dep, kill, intercept, resume, timestamp start, obviously float. Now I go to browser history and clear now and try again. Look guys, how to redirect it. Ten dot 20.215.8. I write it in code and now it downloaded. File.exe. So this is how you guys can redirect by the help of MITM proxy flow. How you guys can make a request to the server. What is a Trojan horse on a computer? What is a Trojan horse virus? It is a program that is downloaded usually with a music or MOV file. They usually will crash memory, send credit card and password to strangers and let them steal identities without the person knowing it. Do you guys just imagine how Trojan horse virus is dangerous and how it effective? Let's watch the full video. I will explain what is Trojan and how it can work with your computer. So, Trojan horse definition: a destructive program that masquerades as a beginning application. Users think they are getting a useful piece of software. Unlike viruses, Trojan horses do not replicate themselves. Example: Trojan horse supposed to read computer viruses, instead introduces viruses onto your computer like antivirus 2009. Look at this one later. So there are many type of malware and Trojan horse is one of them. A computer program that appears to be useful but that actually does damage. It appears when people are lured into opening a program because they think it comes from a legitimate source. Recently, Trojan horse came in the form of an email that include attachments. Trojan horse can also be included in software that downloaded for free. An example of Trojan horse is Happy 99. It's a malware and Trojan horse is one of them. Trojan horse example: Trojan horse examples: rootkit integrates with the anti-kernel. It's very dangerous, virtually undetectable once installed, hides from administrator as well as user. Private TCP IP stack. It is Trojan horse examples. Types of Trojan horse payloads. Trojan horse payloads are almost always designed to do various harmful things but could be harmless. They are broken down in classification based on how the breach system and the damage they cause. The 7 main types of the Trojan horse payloads are remote access, email sending, data destructive, FTP, Trojan, and Denial of service attack. Basically, DOS attack. It really a powerful attack. In previous years, DOS in Google and GitHub, hackers gave DOS attack. Trojan horse is a computer program that looks very useful, but when you install the program, it also installs a hidden virus. During the Trojan War, the Greeks gave the Trojans a huge wooden horse as a gift. When the Trojans brought the gift into their city, the Greek soldiers jumped out of the horse and took over the city. Characteristics of modern Trojan: modifies registry to allow auto start each time Windows starts, disables firewall auto update security features, disables or interfaces with added antivirus software adware, hijack hijack thieves, save bots search and destroy, opens connections to server, sends potentially sensitive information out, keep reinfecting and hijacking machine. So it is modern Trojan's characteristics. So have a look. It's the antivirus avast warning. A Trojan horse was found by Windows antivirus, operating system antivirus. There is no reason to worry. So here a diagram: create Trojan, create developer, execute the dropper, propagation, wrapping. Trojan horses. Trojan horse, also known as Trojan, describes a list of computer threats malware that appear to perform good functions but actually performs malicious functions that allow unauthorized access to the hosting machine. For example, if a program is designed in such a way, it could open a gateway for hackers to control and attack the computer of the user, then that program is said to be a Trojan horse. So this is how Trojan attack: first information gathering, coding the reverse Trojan, vectors preparation, and interaction with the zombie. So that's it for today. Now I show you how you guys Trojan install on Linux. First go to GitHub and download, then install it by some command. So download first. Now give command cd downloads ls, but it's a exe file. So in Kali Linux, give command wine audit v3 setup.exe for installing Trojan in Linux. And installation is finished. Now go Trojan factory, clone or download. Give command again cd slash opt, then ls, simply git clone and the location path and cloning into Trojan factory. Trojan factory.py. Give python command python trojan factory.py. Just watch this carefully, guys, how I give command in Kali Linux for downloading exe file to run Linux installation and how to download Trojan factory. So guys, let's make a Trojan horse. Some step we have to complete step by step. We make a Trojan horse in web. Like first one is combine evil file with normal file. It can be image, book, song or anything. Then configure evil file to run silently in the background, and then change file icon, and last one change the file extension. So watch the video carefully, guys. I'll show you step by step. After successfully install Trojan horse factory, now I show you physically, guys. So give a comment first for starting Trojan factory, and step by step I will show you. The command is python trojan underscore factory.py, and now come to first step, front file URL or front file direct URL to file that the user will see. For this I just go google.com and Acrobat Reader readme a PDF file. Just search it. Just copy this URL, opening a new tab, paste it. Now need some command -f, then paste this PDF. Now evil file URL, direct URL to the evil file, and this is the evil.exe file and simple HTML code, HTML page. Now give this command /evil.exe. Currently I copied. Now number 3, out file path and location to store, and the command is -o/var/www.html/readme.exe, targeted readme file, targeted path, and give command -i. Look guys, this is downloaded here. Root downloads /pdf.ico, and now come to the final step, -z zip trojan. This is how I make trojan. Give command -e before http evil.exe. Change the icon, just simply paste it. Give command -z for zip, readme.zip, it already created. Go to browser, and search https 10.20.215.8 slash readme.exe and this is the desired file. Now go to gmail.com. .zip and download it. And it same output, whatever you want. So guys, this is how you guys can make it step by step. Just I show you in this video. Okay, now I'm gonna edit the flow request. Now I have to modify something in this code, like .exe file. I just change it to a PDF file, and response in the server. Previously I show you guys how to make Trojan and how to create it. Just change it on PDF and .exe file index.zip. That's why I have to manipulating it on website. open Kali Linux and meet MITM proxy and connected with EtherCap. For remote computer attack, and this is command for opening this. And here be poisoning victims, multiple victims, and start sniping. And another terminal open me MIT aim dump, give command -s/root/basic.py -transparent for manipulating. And proxy server default is 8080. Now give command, another command IP tables, now go to google.com, search sample PDF, from http 1020.1.258, which is my URL. Same thing. And report in my mail. Here is password. So guys, this is how you can do it by your own. You can delete flow request edited or make attack. So guys, this is not a programming course. I will try to keep the program simple as possible. So right now I have the basic script I have in before in previous video. .exe file with the targeted file.exe download inside Trojan horse in this link in here. So I'm gonna use this in our base and work from here. I'm gonna modify this file to achieve our goal. So right now this script is really good. Whenever the target person is request to this URL .exe and the flow got interesting flow gonna here, then this line file.exe gonna replace this. So before the replacement I gonna make the file.exe, and we want to need a code that create Trojan here so that the Trojan will serve in this line. Therefore all the code I'm gonna use right now, and in the end when I'm gonna done finished the Trojan, now we actually don't need too much code because we have already a tool that create Trojan horse, and the tool is Trojan Factory. I showed you before, and in the help of this Trojan Factory we can make Trojan on the fly in here in man in the middle proxy as well. Now we need to import the function what we use, and the import program is simple as possible. I make so actually I run the system command in Python. So in this in previous previous video, what command I use for Trojan that need now for Python library. So simply I just copy previous code and simply paste this in this code, and in the previous video I show you this readme.pdf make a Trojan, and it will run a evil file in the background what is evil.exe, and it will also download the root and the icon pdf.icon. So in previous video I just show you how to create this. I give almost 10 minutes about how to create a Trojan. So in this video I didn't make this again, just watch this. So we have to run a Python command, and need a Python function, and which is subprocess.call. I'm just write it in subprocess.call. And the first function is the command, and next is the attribute in this function, next argument, and it is shell equal true. And I'm just copy all the line python trojan factory.py and paste it in this argument subprocess inside subprocess.call first argument. And all of this video I'm gonna use a library what is subprocess and a method what is call. Now for use this code and trojan factory trojan in the terminal, we have to first navigate opt trojan factory and then use the command, because trojan factory.py store in opt trojan factory. If we want run this outside from this, so we have to run this directory. Let me show example. I just write in cd root and then python trojan factory.py, and it can't show because if we want to run this outside from the directory we must declare it first. So declare the okay. Now the command we use still identical the command we used before to generate the trojan from trojan factory in the terminal. So in the terminal we open it or connected it by opt trojan factory and factory.py, and trojan factory is installed. This is the reason why we using the full location, because we have to detect trojan factory directory first. But now I'm gonna execute the factory outside, that's why I put the full file here. In the previous video we use -f to display the user, and in this video we need the readme file to use a generic file. So I generate trojan is file for target, and the front file must be different and it's a variable. Luckily man in the middle proxy written in the python, so we can just create a variable, store the value, the file is being downloaded, and use this variable there. So let's first create the variable. So let's create a variable. This is front file and this is equal to that file. Let's use in download link. If you remember, a first flow is container or a variable. So right now I just create another variable what is called front file. And also remember from the previous video flow.request.pretty URL that the target person is downloading, and this is perfect. This is what exactly I'm gonna looking for the URL that the target person is downloading, and I'm use that in the front file. So I'm just copy it and paste it in front file. The front file contains the directory to the target person is downloading. Now we need the front file after the -f is here. -f argument in the trojan factory command. When user download it, we'll replace it in -f and the Trojan will embed it in that file. So I'm going to need this and paste the variable is here. But I have to close this quotation mark. So I'm just gonna close this quotation mark. And give the quotation after f argument and type spaces and put variable. Python have a problem, you can't do this, so in middle there need a underscore or a plus before this front, and that's it guys, it's done. So you look Python and full location is here in which is Trojan factory. Then I'm give quotation mark and inside this I put the file and write the command, and I'm gonna use the evil file with evil.exe. So this is finish the script. If you have little bit idea about Python, you guys can easily make it by your own. And I'm not showing critical way because this is not a programming video, it's just a making Trojan horse or evil.exe file, or how you can edit it or modify it by your own, or make Trojan and then make attack successfully. Now need a single code in here, and another single code is need front file after, and this is the library subprocess we import, and after man in the middle proxy here import again sub proc process. So finally this script is almost done, pretty done. And last thing is I wanna add a hash in last in front file inside double quotation. So this is necessary because if I can do this, the user is stack. So this is pretty much done and our file is ready for use. Okay, now our script is done. We can actually just go ahead and use it for now, and now it's ready to use it. Now first I wanted to be intercept in this PDF file, in this exe file. I'm gonna replace this PDF in exe. So now selected a icon in PDF. Let's go back to the file and what happened. Look, so when the browser get request, browser use the internet, the flow request is gonna be there. And then we have the condition that the check going to this IP address, and it's not, then it's go to this URL ends with in PDF, and this URL ends with that .pdf, and if it does, it gonna executing my code here. Once we're gonna here and print interesting flow, and then we have a variable is called front file. Think of this as a container, and this contain flow.request.freet URL, and this is basically the same URL in this first line. If flow.request.host this line, this is the direct URL that the target person is opening. This is perfect for us to use to front file when we generate our Trojan, and that's why we're storing in this in front file variable, and make sure that it doesn't get intercepted when the user download .pdf, because our condition is check the URL and the .pdf. If our Trojan ending with the hash. Now next line, this is gonna be used in the Trojan factory. To use this command in terminal to generate the Trojan from any file, and we're doing Python followed by the directory and command in Trojan factory. Then we have to give our first argument, which is -f, using the single quote to quote this file before front file, and then using double quote to end this command, that we can place the variable, and then I have the variable link is here, which contains the direct URL, who is the target file is opening and download, and this is gonna be use the front file. Then rest of the command is pretty much same almost I did before. After that I specify E and specify eval file, and then I have to specify where I have to store this Trojan, and it gonna be saved in var www.html/file.exe, so that I can make my target downloaded. And finally I'm specifying the icon that correspond to front file, and that's it. And now next line, and next line is gonna modify the response, and this is the same location, HTTP and this location. Now I'm gonna save this script, then run it in man in the middle proxy. Run it gonna be same. I use it usually. uh, I'm gonna use man in the middle. I'm gonna use -s to specify and /root, and I use this script in transparent mode and press enter, and this here working. Now I'm gonna use the man in the middle is ARP spoofing because it's just easier. Finally it run and it redirect and successfully run our script. Now I'm go back to my Windows machine and now look for a PDF. Just search it on Google a sample PDF, and I'm gonna download. This first result is here. Click on save and go to my download. Now it get icon, and if I run it, it shouldn't get the PDF. And whenever I open this file, the backdoor or the evil file will working in background and it active. And this is I get the right PDF what is the user expect. So this is actually the right content. And now I go back to the Kali machine and I get a report from mail and make sure that that tool is working. I'm gonna make same PDF, download the same PDF again, and this is the same file and the backdoor evil file what target get. I'm gonna show you next example in next PDF. And now let's go to the Windows machine, and now I'm gonna download this file. I'm gonna download it. This is actually same name but the content is different, so I'm gonna download it and open it, and yes, this is the different file in here. So our Trojan horse is work successfully, and it corresponds to the file that the target person is downloading. And a person that download it, the research and something that who needs some PDF file. So now I go back to my email and there is another new email, and open that, and I have my password here. What is a target person password is how. And as you can see, this is very powerful, and now it working. So once a target download this file and get his or her username password in my mail, so this is actually powerful. So that's it for today, guys. Okay, now we analyze how to code and write our own script, intercept downloaded file and make it Trojan that the target person is downloading and the target person is opening the file, just not replacing, just code in the backdoor. So here now needs some modified so that the target file is target person is looking for what file he need. In previous video I show you our code is in this PDF file that we want to intercept. This is PDF or MP3 or IP3 or any other file type, and now we have to modify this part is here. The other problem that we go here in this file, you see the file name always in this file. When it downloaded, the file is named always file, and if we go the file name extension, now this is show the extension file name, and so evil value is get the PDF icon, and when the target person double click it, he will get the PDF. And so this problem I make a script that actually a Trojan factory report, and you show this is a man in the middle proxy. It is really simple, just watch this Trojan factory report. You have to clone it and it git clone, and you need the directory, the same directory in this Trojan factory. Now go to the file manager and navigate the Trojan factory and see the file in man in the middle proxy script.py, and when you open that you will get this script here, import mitm proxy import subprocess, this line, and you file this script, and this is almost same code, but it quite different because it has some extra features in this code, but as it likely intercept and implement the Trojan file. And now we have to use this script. First of all, we need to declare a variable first and need some IP management in your computer, and replace it in these two quotation. Example is 10.20.215.8, and next thing is to set the extensions in the target. So now go back to our basic.py. I give an example what is a .exe, pdf or .txt file. You can make any one in Trojan horse factory and backdoor evil. And if you want to intercept more file type, you can also do it. For this you have to do just one another comma here and write the format. So let's say you add a mp3, so just give a comma here, double quotation, and write mp3. And the next thing is to link this evil file. I'm gonna use the same evil file, and it is 10.20.15.8/evil.exe, and this is must be the direct download link. So without any ads, it directly need download. And the last thing is to modify is the web root, and this is the path where the web server store the value, and by default the Kali store /var www.html/. There is also a flag here, and let's set it to false, but I want to the script automatically spoof, so it can true also. The file extension is the same extension in the front file. One more thing, in this Trojan factory there is a directory is icon and some icons for to use the Trojan. If you want to need more icon, just put it on this directory and you can do it. Okay, now I have to modify this script that run what we wanted, and in this video I'll show you how this script is work in man-in-the-middle proxy to target and target person in remote computer. So using this script is any identical in any other script. So first thing is just run in man-in-the-middle dump, give it the location where the s argument, and there's gonna be a opt and the man of the middle proxy underscore script.py. Then I'm gonna do dash transparent to run this in transparent mode, and successfully the script running. Now need to rp spoofing attack in man in the middle proxy, so I'm using the third cap for this script, and that's done. Now starting sniping, and finally I need an IP table for redirect the Trojan factory to port 8080 to man in the middle proxy, and that's it, done, and hit enter. Now I'm gonna go to the Windows machine and let's test it
with an appropriate file type, with an appropriate extension, and it should run the file that they're expecting, and at the same time.
Now I'm gonna show my email here. There's some new notification here in my email. So here is my Windows machine, and let's go to Google, search google.com, and let's first to download the PDF, search sample PDF, and I'm gonna download the second result this time, and the file is showing now in a zip format because the extension spoofer is not work, some problem, but let's check. Now I'm gonna save this, and download a txt file. Okay, let's download the first result, and then finally I download the WinZip, download from here and save that, and that's it. We download a zip, exe and PDF, and let's go to download and see what I have. So recently I have downloaded in 3 files, and all of the files look like archive, So now I extract the PDF here. So in my previous video I show the difference between this PDF So now let's execute and look what will happen. We get the file what we are expecting, and it's not a accurate file, it's a file that the target person is actually looking for. And if I go to Kali to go back to mail, and I have the notification about this. Now let's go back and test our other file. Let's extract files again and watch. And this time this is the txt file, and the target person is download directly txt, and this is not this txt file not contain any icon. And when we double click it, and this is the perfect documentation that the target person is looking for. And then our backdoor is gonna run the background, and the evil file is running then background. And if we go back to mail, I have new notification and receive a new email. And same thing is WinZip file. I'm gonna just show you, and first extract it, and then when I double click it, it run. And this is the actual file that the target person is looking for, and it is look like same. And go back to the mail and check the new notification. This is actually the target person is looking for. So this is how you guys can make evil file in the background and make your target. So now in this video I would like to show you man in the middle proxy and dripnet tool. So open the Kali machine and go to sniping and spoofing, then found NMI man in the middle proxy, and this is man in the middle. Give command man mitm proxy, and all the information you found here. So now I show you DripNet tool and EtherCap. Some option about EtherCap, networking interface, uh, hosts, start unfilled sniping, and to host, add to target, and at target 2, MITM ARP poisoning, and click OK. Now go to terminal, give command mitm proxy -p port 8080 and close. So this is how you guys can use DripNet, and give command DripNet -i etso and opening DripNet. So this is how you guys can do it. So this is all the video. I'll show you many topic. I cover many topic and show some physically.
So now today we will be talking about the pen testing. So now in pen test you've got a hold of a system. So what do you do there? Well, that's where sniffing the target comes into play, and I'm not necessarily sniffing an individual target. It's actually in a reference here to the target that being in that network or the company itself. Now the purpose is here of doing a sniffing target is there. First of all, audit the traffic that's going to cross. So if we can see if anything being exposed that shouldn't be exposed, we also use it to identify possible raw application that's out there, and some of those application could actually end up being a sniffing program itself. We also use these to find rough beach, ID rough or ID rough application, and then CP server as well as DNS server. that may be on the network, and to possibly find any other authorized network devices that somebody may be placed on the network, because you users never do that. So the steps that we should go through the pen testing and sniffing, including going like McFlood as well as DHCP starvation. We will also attempt to do a rough server to see if I trick people into using my machine instead of the company system. Also attempt to do an ARP poisoning as well as MAC spoofing, and then we will check to see if the routers are sharing too much info by doing a IRDP spoofing attack. And then we also have the obvious DNS spoofing as well as cache poisoning. And to wrap up it, one of the other tests that I will do is a proxy server DNS poisoning. Now I know this seems to be a lot of spoof and poisoning going on there, and so yes, you could say that these steps that we're going through are extremely active on the network. And the reason why we want to make sure that we go through each of the steps is to make sure that we look all the possible ways that we can attempt to do a sniffing attack on the network, so that we can help our company. Now let's start with something I really enjoy. It's called MAC flooding, and this is where you already have thinking like Mac burger or something like that. Now that's not. A real Mac flood is simply where we have our switch and we go through and we create some Ethernet frames. So each of them will contain a different source MAC address. Now what happens is that we send all of those switches which overload the switch memory and that does something to the switch. That's kind of peculiar activity. It's not peculiar, it's there kind of like a redundancy. It's dump the switch down and basically turn it into a hub. So at that point I can start sniffing across the switch and the tools that we can use to perform a MAC flooding, and that would include a product like pen test or any other. And then I want to do the DHCP starvation attack. Again, we have a DHCP server that has a database of IP address, and that's issuing a outer, and that has a available kind of pool that of our IPs. Well, what we do is we simply broadcast DHCP with a spoof MAC address and eventually access the DHCP server address, and that's in the pool or used up in the pool. Now if I am able to accomplish this using this, so that's the DHCP starvation. So my next step would be to implement a rough server. So if I have got the company's DHCP server and I want to, and also I have a like DHCP starvation attack, my next thing is I'm going to fire up a virtual machine that has my own version of DHCP server, and then I will start issuing out the IP addresses and maybe to implement other things like spoof DNS server, which we will talk about here in a few minutes. The other test that I would want to try or accomplish is to see if I can do a ARP poisoning by trying to compromise the ARP table and change it into a MAC address, so that the IP address points to another machine that can be extremely powerful. And so I can use tools like my personal favorite architecture, which now if I am able to do this, the attacker can also do the same thing, and by using the same thing they can steal information by changing the meta address to their own system. thus making everybody thinks that that's my black box in the destination. So there the tree attempting to go. Now since we talk about make flooding, let's talk about you buy a Apple computer on a black market and find out that it's counterfeit. Now we all know that our network cards have MAC addresses associated to them. So if I am able to spoof the MAC address on the network card, the attacker could actually bypass the access control list on routers or even servers, because they are pretending to be different service or different device on the network. One of the most famous tool for this type of attack that you use is called SMAC. So another thing that I can try to do is something called IRDP spoofing. So IRDP is actually a sort of ICMP, router discovery protocol. So it's an extension of ICMP. This particular protocol helps to discover all the router on the network by listing to the router advertisement messages. So a device that's connected to the network and listen to the protocol, but when they listen, there is a chance that that could be a change of the routing table. Now IRDP doesn't actually use any types of authentication that should so the attackers can spoof or advertise our packets and change the data flow of the router of his choice. So we simply just create a router in your PC, then send the IRDP advertisement packet to all the devices that are connected. This routing table of the devices that's connected in that subnet. So at that point I can start sniffing data or even implementing it as man in the middle attack or even performing a denial service. So another test I'm going to talk about is a DNS spoof attack. So using the tool like ARP spoof or DNS spoof, the attack is designed to mystery the victim to another address that's under the control of a hacker. So normally someone makes request to the website, they go to their DNS server. Well, if the attacker able to listen in and intercept the DNS request of the victim, then he can center the response with a spoof ID address before the actual response arrives. So at that point this redirects to the victim to my packet site, but yet there is more. You can also try to do a cache poisoning. Now in cache poisoning, the target obviously is going to have a browser, and when the attacker or what all the attacker will do is send a piece of malware that actually goes through the changes than the proxy setting of the web browser interface, and that proxy server is going to be up and redirecting then my own personal site, and then finally I am and that's all the cache poisoning. Now I want to try something called proxy server DNS poisoning. Now in this type of attack network, that's going to have their server, and users are going to use their DNS server to resolve IP addresses or the DNS names. So well, if I am able to go through and set up a proxy server and also a rough server on the primary DNS server, that I can lure user or the victim into using my proxy server instead of a legitimate server, which would then direct them out of the website of my choice. And of course, after you are doing all of these tests and writing everything down and finishing everything, you're gonna need to update your documentation again, showing what vulnerabilities or attacks you are able to achieve, and you should always update this documentation. So when I think about DSCP starvation, I think about the famous scene in a movie where the little boy goes up and says, like, please. So there's a movie called That's Why the Starvation. That's why I just remember. So okay. So let's look at a particular attack vector, and it's called the DSCP starvation attack. So this is the concept. You have got your DSCP server, and as we talked about this before, is going to have a scope or possibly a multiple scope that represent the different subnet ranges. So these particular cases, we're going to go with like a IP like another 192.168.1, so and all the way up to 254, and obviously that didn't have a room to type out all of this, so I just displayed this as a full picture, as a graph diagram. So hopefully you get the concept of the idea in here. It's just simply a list of or a database of IP addresses that can issue out a client machine. Now as the network comes up, a client makes a request, then that information is passed through the switch and then of course send it on the DHCP server to get their IP addresses, and along with the information again comes information that's a default gateway, and the DNS server leases that is going to be a kind of important node as well, because it with a lease the client itself checks when 50% of TTL of the lease has been expired, so back with the DHCP server to find out if it's okay. So if its user is using that IP address, now this is all well and good in a normal environment, but enter to our attacking machine, which basically goes and flush the network with DHCP request or discover the DHCP server, thinks that there is different client machine that are requiring those IP machines or IP addresses. In fact, that program is so sophisticated that it shows different MAC addresses associated to those requests, and basically what ends up happen is that the DHCP server thinks that it sort out all the different IP addresses and then scope is then depleted, meaning that the client machine is denied access to get all the actual IP addresses or it is starved. Now there are several programs out there that can be used to accomplish these types of attacks. So one or more famous one is called Gobbler, as well as program called Yersinia. In fact, you can just use Yersinia on a Kali Linux. So if you just go search on the application Yersinia and it will come up, just open it, and under the sniffing you can just simply come up and select a DHCP and you can launch the attack. Then you can discover packets out there, and it will start pushing this to this packet to fight the DHCP server, and it would start using all the IP addresses in its current. So one of the first step that attacker will go through in order to completely compromise the system is again is going to the starvation, and we're going to rock up that by using that starvation method. How do we sniff? So well, there is a both hardware and software solution, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time that software side is not cheap, and on the hardware side of the thing we have what we refer to as protocol analyzers, and these devices are designed to monitor the network traffic, but they are also it's a software, it's a hardware called Fluke, a fantastic little device, but again they are used not only to monitor but also you can actually analyze the data with the Fluke. that we could go through, and you can see the how long the cable it is. So if there is a break, how far down the cable it was broken. You could also analyze what's the top protocol being used on the network, and the device interworks in 5540A. It's a multi-port testing system that allows you to monitor and verify performance of a network of all devices. So again, we can only analyze what we can capture the data and play it back later. So if we want to integrate and can actually see the individual data bytes of each packet as it passed through the cable. Again, these devices are very expensive, and typically in most run of the attacks we won't have this type of budget. Now the cheaper solution is software, and probably one of the most popular product out there is Wireshark, and I hope you all know what Wireshark is. So Wireshark was originally known as Ethereal or something like that, Ethereal dependent or something. So how you want to pronounce it back in 2006. So they changed it to Wireshark in 2006, but this is a cross-platform product that goes through and uses what the refer as a pickup to capture your packets, and it's completely free and it's very easy, and it supports being able to look at the data from Ethernet element as being run as a GUI or from a command line interface. Some other products are out there like OmniPeak, has a nice little GUI interface, and there is also like Soft Perfect NPA, which is the network protocol analyzer. Also Microsoft has their own product, it's called Microsoft Network Monitor. Now those guys that may have been seen in the past, he's gotten a facelift. So you want to take a look at this, and another day I will talk about all of this. So some of these small can be run off this USB drivers or Raspberry Pis. So I'll be showing how we can enable a little bit and later on. So it's one of my favorite things, that Quicks and T. So let's note which one of the figures out is actually called Smart Air or Smart was for Wi-Fi snort. So it was extremely powerful, and I used it with my ISP service. So it's so powerful that it sniffs the traffic, and what happened is we saw a denial of service attack coming in from a specific addresses. So we had a short rule that executed of a automatically blocked IP address at the router. Now not all these are used for the dark side. I just want you to know that there is a wide variety of products out there that we are used for both good and evil, so therefore bringing balance to the force. So that's it. A man-in-the-middle attack is a cyber attack where an attacker relays a possible or alters the communication between two parties who believe that they are communicating directly. This allows the attacker to relay communication, listen in, and even modify what each party is saying. So man-in-the-middle attacks enable eavesdropping between people, clients, and servers. This can include HTTPS connection to the websites, other SSL or TLS connection, Wi-Fi network connection, and more. One of the things the SSL or TLS industry fails host is that attacking the viability of the threat poses in the man-in-the-middle attack, and I know this because I have seen it in the first hand and possibly even contribute to the problem. Obviously, you know that man-in-the-middle attack occurs when a third party places itself in the middle of the connection, so that it can easily understood, but it's usually presented in the simplest iteration possible, usually in the context of a public Wi-Fi network. So there's a lot more to the man-in-the-middle attack. including just how easy it is to actually pull it off. So today we're going to unmask the man in the middle. So we are gonna demonstrate the attack. So let's just watch how this works. So in this demonstration we will use BEEF browser exploitation framework, an open source pen testing tool. It is somewhat similar to the Metasploit in that it is a modular exploit framework but for the browsers. So BEEF hooks on the browser, for instance enabling advertise to launch an expense set of command module inside a browser security context. In addition, it boasts a graphical user interface that streamlines the attack process significantly. So this server runs on a Linux machine, but clients are not really OS dependent. That's because BEEF relies on JavaScript code injection as its initial hook. So first step is initial step. So first, BEEF server should be initiated on the attack machine. No additional parameters are mandatory. So the framework's web UI is not available, and as you can see in the marked section, and this is highlighted. This location of the malicious JavaScript code is also included. So here is a UI of the authenticated page. So this is the UI of the authenticated page. So after logging in this page, you will see this page. So the second step is hooking. So now that the server side is up and running, and we will need to hook our victim browser by injecting the malicious JavaScript code. Several attack vectors can be used to inject this code, amongst which are MITM, man in the middle attack, reflected or stored accesses execution, and social engineering. But as JavaScript injection is a complex topic and keep this demonstration focused, we will be using a BEEF's basic demo page that is already injected with the malicious code. So here you can see that our victim accessing the demo page on his Windows machine through Microsoft Edge, and over to the server side, as you can see in this page, a new client is shown. Now that browser is hooked so that we can use BEEF's simple interface and comprehensive list of modules to exploit our victim. So third step is fingerprinting and persistence. So alongside the basic data shown on the hook browser main page, many modules are available like fingerprint the victim and establish the persistence. So among which are, one of them is fingerprint local network, which discover LAN device based on default logo instead of a icon for known network devices and applications. IP range or target port can be customized. Fingerprint browser and fingerprint browsers are capability using fingerprint JS2. Tries detective antivirus, which tries to discern the install antivirus by detecting JS code that is automatically included by some of them, and may detect Kaspersky, Avira, Avast, or Norton and others like certain antivirus. And another last part is ensure the BEEF's hooks will persist until the victims manually change the URL in the URL bar. Originally, the hook is injected into a single web page, so switching web page will terminate the attack. BEEF handles this by listening for the link clicks and handling the request instead of letting the browser to handle it. Sometimes server policies will prevent this behavior if the link is a different domain. So these cases the link will be open to a new tab to avoid losing the original hook. So this is the fingerprint browser command module, and with its result will be shown in the right side. Okay, let me okay. So this is the command module, and as you can see on the right side this is the result, and this is the detect antivirus command module, and its result showed in the right side. So the step 4 is data collection. After assuming persistence and fingerprinting the victim, adversaries may start to collect personal victim data with the following module. Social detective, detect social network, which detects if the hook browser is currently authenticated or to Gmail, Facebook or Twitter, and Spider Eye, which captures a snapshot of the hooked web pages, as you can see in here, Spider Eye. And another one is get from values, which is retrieve the name, type and value to all input fields. So in this Spider Eye module, as you can see, the victim whose browser tabs are marked as red, as you can see this is the browser tab, and in this picture it shows it detects social network, as you can see in here, social network. This command module with its description in here and parameters, description parameters are both on the right side. So the fifth part or step is data manipulation. Let me be okay. So adversaries may exploit man in the browser attack to forge requests on behalf of the victim, the security context of the hook browser. The victim does all the heavy lifting by authenticating to a certain service, say an enterprise cloud storage, and the attacker swoops at the last moment, sending a request to the storage server to delete all the files. So this is accomplished by the tunneling of the attack desire requested the hook browser session over beef's communication channel, thus mimicking a reverse HTTP proxy and the hook browser session in the proxy's exit point. So first the desired hook session must be set as you can see, as proxy server. Now request can be forced through the control interface under, as you can see here, under proxy to force the request. Alternatively, a different web browser can be set to use the proxy server, allowing the attacker to visually hijack the victim's browser. To demonstrate this, we set up a dummy website with a simple login page. So here is the victim machine. As you can see in this picture, victim machine is logging to a secure service. So on the beef browser, we set up a proxy as shown previously, this one, and configured the Firefox to use it. Now when we access the DVWA website, as you can see DVWA website, we are not prompted with this login screen because we are browsing this in the victim's security context. So this means that the attacker machine, the attacker access the secure service without authentication using the hook browser as a proxy exit point. So this is all how you demonstrate or how you use manage the metal attack in an advanced way using beef software. So in this lecture we are going to be talking about a tool for sniffing, so that can accept data or host from this application. So using sniffing or ettercap, you just cannot just sniff for the traffic, but you can also poison the DNS, which you can which we will explain in the next lecture. So you can do man in the middle attack that can even interpret the traffic and change the counter of the track. So imagine someone is sending an email, you are intercepting this email and you can change inside the email. So it's a very powerful tool that you need to get familiar with it. So you can then enhance your attack. You can do much more than just getting the credential of someone inside your network. So let's see how it works. So it's a inbuilt application tool for all Linux distributors that I told about. You can use any Linux distributor as you want. It will all have a built-in ettercap in them, but I'm using a Kali Linux machine, so it also has a built-in ettercap. So how can you find the ettercap? Just go to the application setting, go to sniffing and spoofing, and as you can see, ettercap graphical. You can click in here, it will open up the ettercap. Or if you are just like me, a commandos freak, you can just type ettercap minus capital G for graphical interface, and this will run in a graphical interface. As you can see, very nice interface. So it will run the program in a graphical mode. So I need to show you how it works in a regular sniffing tool, or maybe even in the man in the middle attack or mini attack tool. So first we are gonna see how to do the specific attack using ettercap. So how it works. So when you open the program in graphical mode, and we are gonna ask to, as you can see, sniffing at startup, we are gonna have to select this, and we are gonna ask you to select the primary interface. As you can see, you can select any primary interface as you want. Mine is wired, and because of that I am selecting the ETH0. So if you don't know how you can check whether it is your ETH0 or ETH1, so just click in this connection menu, click connection information. As you can see, mine is ETH0. So just select the ETH0. So then just press simply here accept, and it will start the unified sniffing. And now you will scan, and you're gonna let you know how many machine you found on this IP inside this machine. So what we have to do now is we have to search and scan for host. So or you can just go here host and scan for host, or you can just select in here. So 4 host has been added, as you can see. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna list those 4 hosts. So how can you list those 4 hosts? You can just type in here, or if you are using an older version of ettercap, then just go host list. As you can see, these are the 4 hosts that are in my machine network. So So we're gonna choose this one for our target 1 machine, and you are gonna choose this one for our target 2 machine. So so this is by choosing two different machine or IP addresses for two different target. So I did specify. So now what can you do is you can do a man in the middle attack. So I did specify one machine and one router, or it could be two machine, it depends. So I specify, and I need to intercept the traffic between this machine and the router. So anything that goes into the internet or coming from the internet, and then we can go and choose our man in the middle attack. So what you have to do now is you have to select this man in the middle menu, choose the ACP poisoning. So just click here, and in default it will be like this. So you have to select this and press OK. So as you can see, these two are the, so what you have to do now is you have to start your man in the middle attack. So where is the start? Okay. So as you can see, starting the unified sniffing, and by clicking this one, it starts sniffing the traffic between those specific machines. So any traffic that is going from this machine to the internet or coming from this machine to the internet, it will be captured, and it will show us a username and password in here. So if there are any credential in this machine. So this is just an introduction to this application. So in this next lecture, we are gonna see how to modify this and do a DNS poisoning, like for instance or example, where I can get a free direct people to the other website. So they are going to visit Facebook and read directly them, like a Facebook account or Gmail or any Twitter account, Hotmail, etc. So we are going to do a DNS poisoning, and we'll do that in the next lecture. And we're gonna take this tool to do the attack related to the other things. So now in this video, we're gonna talk about how to use SSL strip. Now previously we talked about how to use ettercapt and how we can use this to add two different target and then use the man in the middle attack. Now we're going to talk about the SSL strip attack. So it is a very interesting attack. Just you have to enable certain command, then you are good to go, and it's very easy to do. And it's a decent attack that allow you to do the following, like someone is connecting through the HTTP website, then it can intercept and I can redirect him and I can transfer that session to the HTTP session, and then according to that I can read his credential. So let's try this. So I am using a Kali Linux machine, so you can use any Linux distributor as you want, but I will prefer you to use that Kali Linux. And you have to type some long lines, so let's get prepared. So first of all, you have to select, type echo 1 space greater than / you have to select this directory. So there is a file called IP forward that exists in this directory, and by default that file has a 0 value. So if you open this file manually, you can find this file in here. So what you need to do is we need to open this value to 1. So by default it will be 0, so we have to value this by 1. So if you do that manually, you can do that, but using this command tool is just pretty easy. So I need to allow 1. Then what 1 will do, this will allow computer to follow the traffic, so it accept the victim at in it will follow, and otherwise it will just not accept and it will not follow it. Then we can use the IP tables. As you can see, just use IP tables, and this line, this is the most important part. Make sure you write this correct. So just type this. This is the for spoofing, and you, as you remember, it spoofs are, and when we spoof the victim machine, then it will send the traffic and redirect, and that traffic will redirect to our machine, not the router machine. So just type this, and then we are gonna use the spoof command. So by default it will not have installed, so it as it is just easy to install, just type Y. By default they will ask you to install this. That's why I ask you to use this Kali Linux, so you don't have to do any tough command. So just they will ask you to install it, so just type Y and it will install this automatically. And then just type this. So we have to type ARP spoof. So the -I, and your internet connection, as you can see, mine is it is 0. So type this Kali Linux machine's network connection word, then space -T, then this is the target machine IP. So use the IP that you want to spoof, or you can use any Windows machine, but I am gonna use my Ubuntu machine. So just use this machine IP address. As you can see, this is also wired connected. So just type -R. After using the target machine IP, type -R. Then you have to type your gateway IP. So first time I did some mistake, I used this machine IP. So do not use this machine IP. Use your gateway IP. Gateway IP means your local IP. So as you can see, after that I used my gateway IP, and then it's all done, and it will start poisoning attack, and it will keeps on running. As you can see, it will keeps on running without having any error. As you can see, it will continue running those it will running on those it will continue running on those gateway IP. So what you have to do now is you have to just type and go to your Facebook address, like search Facebook. Just go to this Facebook address, type any of this. Okay, before that you have to do another process. I totally forgot. So what you have to do now is you have to type this command, ssls strip. As you can see, it's not pre-installed, so just I install this, and after that just type sslf strip, and then space -L space for ITT. So this will, as you can see, it is running. So what you have to do now is you have to use and go and just log in. and all of this will saved in those. Let me open up another file. So as okay, nano, you have to type nano. As you can see, you have to type nano and the this log file. And what is this file? This file is okay, this file is in here. So this will show you the credential that you used in here, and it will save all of those credential. You can choose, you can type number 10 15 times, and it will all be saved in log file. As you can see, it will saved in all in here. There is a couple of typing mistake, but also it will show a couple of error, but it will all be saved in here. And this credential will be captured on those plain text, and it will saved in a separate file. As I already shown, it will save all in a log file. So after you open that log file, you can see the username and password. So the SSL strip is a very important attack that to machine, and it will work as a middle attack, but for HTTPS. So someone is logging into the bank website, this can be used, and someone is like going to log into Facebook account or Twitter account on your Gmail account, and that also be saved on those log file. So you have to must process, make sure that your this one is continuously running, otherwise it won't save any of those credential. So make sure you type this correctly, and make sure you use this gateway IP currently, and this is the most important part. Make sure you use your gateway IP, not machine IP. As you can see, if you use this machine IP, it will give you the error. So you should not blindly trust HTTP website, because that can be established by the HTTPS website. So that's how you use SSL strip attack. Hello everyone. So in this lecture, I am going to brief you about the KNN-able tools. So you can download this tool by searching on Google. So let me show you how you can download on KNN-able software. Just as you can see, you can just download this from this website. As you can see, just download and just install on this on your machine. Then it will open up, and you will open up like, let me see, as you can just double click and it will open up. So now we are gonna review some different tasks and some different utility inside this software. So as we explained in the enumeration for these tools that can be installed from previous, as I showed, the website is completely free tool, so you don't need to pay anything, and it's a very powerful tool and very handy for us for the penetration testing. So let's just briefly go through these different sections and what that does in every different way, because it is a big tool and we are gonna use this tool in the future lectures. So right now I'm just gathering the basics demonstration of how every of these toolbars option does. So here in the decoder, we can use this tool just to grab all the cache from the machine from the local machine. Sometimes you have like username and password saved in here, and you will be able to retrieve them. So whatever you log on, like Facebook, email, Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, or any other website, any username and password will be saved in here. So if you go to the decoder and then click on the plus sign, then you will be able to get all the cache and the machine that are connected, so that you can use in different way, but actually we can use them in enumeration. So if you are not aware of that, you can just search enumeration can enable and you will get a lot of details. It can also be used to do an enumeration to connect through using analysis to any server or client that accept conversation, and to be able to grab all the account username and share them as a group and so on. And we just able to do that using this plus sign tool. Just press and you will get all the options. And let's go to the sniffers. Sorry about that. So if you click on the plus sign, as you can see, the sniffer must be activated. So you have to create first, then you can use sniffer. Before, so when you click the plus sign, it will create or sniff all the network or all those IP and MAC addresses inside in your system network. So then you can click on network and go to quick list, and you can see all the machine in here, and they will be categorized according to the service, and it will start. And so if an HTTP password is here and certain that SMTP, so any password or any credential will be captured using this application, and that will be displayed in a password. So except for HTTPS, which we can use another attack to interpret those credential. If you are victim, then you are using HTTPS connection. Also, it not only intercept a HTTPS, you can use username and password, so it can also intercept the voice. So if anybody is using any kind of voice or IP various application, even intercept application as well, that we can click on it. So what can you do? You just click on a IP address and then put the username and password. As you can see, connect username and password, then press connect, and it will be all connected. So any kind of application even intercept, that is well, you can write it. So the intercept all kinds of traffic data, and we also went through API, and we used this on middleman attack, where we can explain the attack in middle, where we can click on the plus sign. As you can see in here, you can select any of these and click on the plus sign, and then it will intercept and any traffic going from this machine or to the router, that could include the website username, password, or any kind of traffic. So this will establish a management attack. So, and also will do that in the future to tracking the password. It's a very handy tool. So you spoke about someone's utility and is a password cracking part. It can also be used if you have a hash or encrypted test. So you can click this plus line and it will add this hash, and here you would be able to crack it, but some techniques to do that. Or if you just keep it for and you click it next, and then you will get the all account from the local machine from the same file. So it will get you the hash file, and after we explain, then we will try wireless hashing Okay, we can try now at the lower part. As you can see, you can see all those password in here, or any routing or any IPR, APR, all those options are in here, as you can see, and here it will show all the host. So you can go and got them and separate it. So I just want to remind you that we did all sorts of attack inside the password cracking, and a tool that is not used anymore, especially the wireless one. So we have some more advanced lectures on wireless where you can try to get the web key, but actually no one is using that anymore because you have a different tool with all the translate techniques to use it. So this is just a summary of this tool, how you can use this. So it's a very simple and handy tool, and make sure you install this disabling your firewall. And as you can see, my Windows security and also my firewall is both off because it cannot run on both turning on, and it will block all those network connection, and you cannot even open this application while this and Windows security is turned on. So make sure you turn this off, then it will work properly. So it's a very handy tool, and I strongly recommend you to download it and start discovering the tools and doing some attacks there for your network using this tool to see how effective this tool it is. So let's talk about sitejacking. So sitejacking attack or session hijacking is the process of stealing someone's access to a website with a remote service by intercepting and using the credential that identified the user or victim in that specific server. Usually, sitejacking attacks are performed through accounts where the user types in their username and password, and session hijacking is a type of security threat in which an attacker hacks a session by intercepting and reading network traffic between the two parties to steal the session cookie. So the attacker can make use of your cookie to impersonate your account and can do everything a user can do when logging in any website. So sitejacking attack works to find non-secure socket layers cookies. So let's talk about the attacks, how you can perform as sitejacking attack. So there are a couple of steps or couple of tools that you need to use, like ettercap, then Ferret, then also at the end we'll be using the main tool of sitejacking, which is hamster. So first let's open ettercap. So we need to set as a middleman to start our process. So we will be using ETS0, then select. So let's search for all the hosts are connected in our server or in our machine. So let's set this as target 1 and select target. Okay, not this. Target, current target. So this is as 1 to 4. So our Windows machine is target 2, and we'll be selecting our Kali Linux 192.168.1.103 3 or 2. Let's check 3. So let's run our man in the middle attack, ARP spoofing, snip, remote connection. Okay, so ARP spoofing is running, so that's all we have to do using ettercap. So let's now run our Ferret. So Ferret is a nice little tool that runs with a hamster. So hamster is a tool that can be used for sitejacking. So it can act as a proxy server, while Ferret is used for sniffing cookies and in the network. So in this receipt we will look at how to hijack some session. So after we done with ARP poisoning using ettercap, okay, so let's run. Okay, this one is running. So okay, let's open command line. So let's run hamster. So just type hamster hijack and it's running. So after that we need to run ferret hijack. So all you have to do is ferret hijack minus I ETS0. ETS0 means your wireless adapter. So my wireless adapter is ETS0. So just type ETS0 and so as you can see our session is already up and running. So and what you have to do now is you have to visit on this website to. So before visiting on this website, what you have to do now is you have to manually set your proxy to this and port to this, because as you can see this is asking for this. So just press this, press paste and go. So change adapter, select ETS0 and we are done with this. So in here as you can see our session ID is running and we can sniff our session ID, and also in our ettercap as you can see. So let's go to our Windows machine and run some website. So as you can see our session ID is all up and running and it will continue to run. So let's go to Google. As you can see it is also running on my Windows 7, which is as you can see IE Windows 7. So this session is also running in here. So it will give you all of those sessions and you can hijack using this session ID. As you can see this is all of the sessions you can find in here. So these are all the process that you can do to hijack any IP address. So as you can see these are all of the sessions. So let's see the session ID also in here. As you can see session ID, let's go to like Google Web to see if as you can see you can also get username and also password, cookies and all of those. So as you can see I type test and test because the username and password is also test, and you can sniff all of those in here. So these are all of the sessions. As you can see cookie, login test and also password is test. So you can get all of those cookies and all of those in here. So you can view all of those cookies also in here. So you can see everything in here. Though this attack can also be used to hijack someone's session while they are logged in a website, making things much faster than cracking password. So isn't that cool? You can get all of this without even trying hard.
So that's all about session hijacking using couple of the tools like Hamster, Array, Ferret, and also Ettercap. And also, as you can see, Ettercap also show you the username and password that you provide into in here. So you can get all of those information and session hijacking using these tools.